Hello, everybody. My name is Roy Nemer of Mundo Albiceleste.com, and I am joined by none other than the living legend himself, Sebastian Garcia. Welcome back, Seba. How are
Hey,
you? Long
hello.
time.
Yeah, I missed you. I missed you last week. I wasn't feeling very well. I had to take a day off that day, but I'm very happy to be here again. Today it's a special occasion because we are obviously going to be talking about the Ecuador game, but I think it's a good opportunity for us to recap what was an excellent World Cup qualifying campaign. We still have one game left to be played, but we're officially there. Brazil ended officially in top spot, but
Yeah.
we still have that game against them that we're going to be playing later during the year. But I think it's a good opportunity to share with all of you the best memories of this campaign, which was one of the best World Cup qualifying campaigns that I remember from Argentina. I guess everybody will agree. And to George, who's saying, Vamos Racing, Avante la Academia, here you go.
There you
Cheers to that, George. Avante Racing.
go. Yes, we have a wrestling fan, and we also have Gorab all the way from Australia. I think I don't even know what time it is in Australia. I just know that it's Wednesday, probably afternoon right now in Australia.
If
Uh,
my calculations are correct, it's noon on Wednesday.
could be,
Yeah,
could
could be. I
be,
think it's
absolutely.
13 hours or,
Yeah.
well, closer to noon. Yeah.
The living legend, save us back. We got some love all the way from Bangladesh as well, and mixed memorabilia. Sorry, the record 31 matches since
Nice. Yeah,
2019
that's
against
another
Brazil.
another hot
That's
topic that we can discuss. And remember
absolutely,
some of those highlights for that run of 31 games unbeaten. Hello
yeah,
from Los Angeles.
all the way from
Nice,
LA.
nice.
So
Yeah.
worldwide right now. All right. So Arjun, good morning. We're Seba from Tamil Nadu. Ooh,
Tamil Nadu. Oh, never heard of that place. Where is it? Can you
I've
tell us where is it?
Yeah, that's. I'm ignorant when it comes to that. Surprisingly, I'm
Yeah,
usually pretty good
sorry.
at
Sorry about it.
geography. Wednesday, say about 1:15 p.m.
Ah, I
13:15.
was close. 1 hour
You're
off.
close.
Yeah, I was
Paulo
close.
Miguel, Nigeria at 3:13.
I
There you
appreciate
go.
that from Nigeria. Not an easy day today for
No,
Nigeria.
mm,
Commiserations. I'm missing on the World Cup.
on the World Cup as well.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Guru was feeling down after this match. Hey, there you go. All that smiles, all those smiles. Jason from India, Ben all the way from South Carolina, but from Cordoba. Uh,
grande
I can't
Ben,
imagine
grande
too.
Ben.
India, India. It
In
is in
India,
India. It is in
fantastic,
India.
fantastic.
George, fellow wrestling fan, all the way from Brooklyn, and absolutely great to see you again, Seba. Great to see you again. We
Thank
missed
you,
you
thank you.
against Venezuela. Do you want to start off by that? Just quickly, I guess, giving us your
No,
thoughts.
yeah, just quickly on that. I don't think it holds a lot of interest, but I think it was a very professional performance. I like the way the crowd at the Bombonera connected with the team. It was great to see Messi enjoying his time there. Also, Di Maria.
Yeah.
I think those are the highlights in terms of the emotional aspects and what it meant for, especially for those two. Two of the
Mhm.
old guard that recently won the Copa America. They turned things around, especially Di Maria. So I was really happy to see that. Um, and in what was probably Di Maria's last game for, he said it himself, that was probably his last game for Argentina in Argentina. So after the World Cup, he might retire from international football. That's what they're saying. But I don't think that there's a lot to discuss about that match, and I don't think there's a lot to discuss about tonight's match either, because now nobody had anything to play for. Even for Ecuador, they took the game to Guayaquil, a different venue with no altitude, that's sea level, and I think it was a good opportunity for them to give fans from Guayaquil an opportunity to see the national team because they always play in the altitude of Quito, but because they were already qualified, they were playing against a qualified team like Argentina. There wasn't a lot at stake, and it was a good opportunity. I think it was a good public relations internal from the Ecuadorian FA, because, as I said before, they gave Guayaquil a very traditional city in Ecuador. They have big clubs there, as like Emelec, Barcelona. They the fans deserved an opportunity to see not only Ecuador but also the visiting legend of Lionel Messi, and I think it was that rubber game, as Calvin is saying in the comments. I agree with that, and I was surprised and a little bit concerned and scared about the fights between players from both teams. I was thinking about both national teams, of course, with a bigger interest in Argentina and what Argentine players did, but I was thinking to myself and even saying it loud when I was watching on TV. Don't fight. Don't, there's no there's no need for an argument here. Nobody cares. Just get the hell out of there. We don't want any suspensions, because we could be facing suspensions in official games. So we didn't want that. So I don't think there's a lot to discuss about the game. Of course, we're welcome to hear, to read comments with your takes from the game. Obviously, there are a couple of very important topics, like Julian Álvarez' first international goal, first start. It was a very well taken goal as well, and a couple of other topics we may have to discuss, like Rulli playing on goal, whether he did enough to secure a spot in the World Cup squad. There's a lot of topics. Just keep it coming. Keep the comments coming. Just let us know what you want us to discuss about.
Exactly. There's a lot to discuss about, not necessarily just the match, although, like you said, Seba, there's a couple of talking points in there as well. The big news being that Julian Alvarez got the start and got the goal, which is it's great. And I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever that he's going to be on that plane or on that flight to Qatar for the World Cup. You mentioned a couple of names that maybe were kind of fighting for a spot. One of them, Jeronimo Rulli, who I thought had a great penalty save.
Yeah.
Really, really well saved. Unfortunately, Ecuador got the rebound. Some other ones as well. Lucas Ocampos got some minutes. Juan Foyt, Ezequiel Palacios, Martinez Cuarta. So some good performances, some not so good. I thought Nicolas Tagliafico played great, especially in the first half. I know some people were questioning Nicolas Gonzalez, for example. Why was he in the starting 11? But if you watch the first 20, 30 minutes of that match, you'll probably see why Gonzalez started and why he starts certain matches. There's a lot to discuss. I see a lot of questions here, for example, regarding Lanzini, for example. Why didn't Lanzini get some minutes? I guess there's only so much playing time that he can give. I am surprised that Alexis McAllister got the start. I will say that. Based off his performance against Venezuela, I thought he might be benched, maybe in place of Lanzini or someone else. But he got the start, got himself in good positions, but ultimately, I mentioned this after the match against Venezuela. I thought he looked like he was a step behind the rest, and I think it showed a little bit at times tonight. And let's take a look at some of the comments here. Jason writes, Alvarez was good. Rulli was also good. Unlucky to get scored on and the rebound as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, it fell to the taker also, because if the rebound went to the right or more to the left, maybe it would have given a chance for Argentine players getting back to deflect it, kick the kick the hell out of that ball. But it fell right at the taker. That's a killer. When you see stuff like that, he's gonna score on the rebound. But it was a very well. Very well saved, as you said. I didn't feel too confident when we saw some aerial balls getting
the crosses.
into his space. Yeah, he wasn't too safe in the air, or punching across away, or just holding on to the ball. But other than that, I think he had a couple of interesting saves, interesting movements. I was surprised not to see Muso getting a start tonight, especially because he always seemed to be higher up the pecking order than Rulli. So I kind of imagined that he was going to be like the definite third choice keeper behind Dibu Martinez and Armani.
Mhm.
and Armani had a chance to get a start because Dibu Martinez was suspended. He did quite well against Venezuela, and then you would have thought that that would have been Muso's chance. There aren't many opportunities for a goalkeeper to um, be able to start a game, and you can feel that as soon as Dibu Martinez is available, he's available now for uh, the next game that we have. You have to you have to think he's going to be the starter. So it would have been nice to see Muso. I think I rate Muso higher than Rulli, my personal opinion, but uh, I think Rulli did well anyway. So
Yeah, no, taking nothing away from Rudy, I thought, like you said, for the most part, I thought he did well. He had a good save. Unlucky on the penalty, but the crosses into the penalty area, those were. He had one catch, I believe, at the start of the match, and then the rest were kind of. He got to them, didn't get to them, got a hand to it, a palm to it. I don't personally speaking. I completely agree with you. I rate Muso. I won't say significantly higher than Rudi, but I definitely rate him ahead of Rudi for a bunch of different reasons. Even though Rudi's playing very, very well right now, he's in great form. But something about Muso for me, just confident, more confident with Muso. There was a question here, and I want to throw it to you, Seb, and I want to throw it to
yeah,
everybody in the chat. Let me just bring it up. Where is it here? Here we go. So the third midfielder, who's the best fit? Let's say Lo Celso's not there. Even if Lo Celso's there, do you go with him? Do you go with Gomez, Lanzini, McAllister, Palacios, or maybe even Buendia? Everybody in the chat, let us know. And Seba, I'll throw it to you. If Lo Celso's not there, even if he is there, is he your third choice midfielder alongside Paredes and De Paul?
yeah, this is interesting because of course you have very different ways to play, right? Different, and I think what Scaloni has been doing is to think about the opposition as well, not just our team. And for example, we've seen Guido Rodriguez being introduced as well. Um, I'm thinking more. This question is more about more something
Like a backup?
more attacking, yeah, more attacking
Okay.
midfield. For the names that I'm seeing there, these are all players that can be progressive on the pitch and more, creative. So let me see. I think it. You just. Can you bring the comment back? I was going through the names.
Absolutely,
Sorry,
absolutely. Sorry.
no
No, no,
problem.
no, no worries, no
Because
worries. We're live. These things happen. Don't worry.
yeah, because I think he put it in the order that I would prefer. I think because yeah, Lo Celso would be my first choice, especially because
Absolutely.
he's more mixed box to box. He
Yeah,
can he can also do a great job winning the ball back. He's
yeah.
has a perfect understanding with Messi, the rest of the team. The through balls that he can
Oof.
just pull out of nowhere. That's he's a starter for me. And then I love Papu. Lanzini. I think in this order. I
In
think
that
I
order?
yeah I will put yeah. I think McAllister did a good job. Pretty anonymous, if I may.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't. Uh, 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 I
I
think he. Yeah, I think the best thing he did in the last two games was when he won the ball back for
he
the
played it
first
to
goal against
Messi.
Venezuela. Yeah, for the first
Yeah,
goal against Venezuela, he played it to the Paul, and the
to De
Paul
Paul.
crossed it to Nico,
Yeah,
Gonzalez for the first goal against. So it tells
yeah.
you that he's intelligent. He can do a job in that part of the pitch as well. But based on what they've been doing for the national team and what they've been doing consistently at a club level, I will go with this exact
This order.
lineup. Yeah, this pecking order. Yeah,
So Julian
well
got it.
done.
Yeah, there you go. He got it. So Lo Celso, I think Lo Celso absolutely. He's he has the experience playing alongside De Paul and Paredes. Papu Gomez, I think if Papu Gomez is fit, I think he probably starts one of these two matches, especially with Lo Celso not there. Lanzini, this is I think the second time, if I'm not mistaken, that Lanzini gets selected for the team and doesn't end up playing. And Scaloni knows Lanzini from 2018 when Scaloni was part of the coaching squad. So this is kind of surprising. McAllister, surprisingly, like I said, he started both matches. I thought in this match in particular, like I mentioned earlier, I thought he got himself into very good positions, whether to win the ball back or play the passes. You just felt like he was missing a little something, maybe just a bit more time with the national team, and he would get it. Let's take a look at some of the
Yeah.
comments. So Lo Celso, uh, Lanzini as a substitute, Papu Gomez is another
Mhm.
one. Lo Celso, but if he's not there, Papu, Lanzini, Paro Miguel, Seba's on point.
Mhm.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I think for Papu, one thing that we've been saying in these videos,
Yeah,
um, I think Scaloni sees him as Messi's replacement. For when Messi is not able,
to play.
Papu is always there to start. So maybe that plays against Papu's chances to start whenever
Mhm.
Messi is playing. So I wanted to say that because I think, in my opinion, we
Valid
are
point.
not seeing Papu start every game because I think Scaloni sees him as Messi's replacement, or his go-to
I
guy
mean,
when Messi is not available.
yeah, which is true. Messi was not there versus Uruguay in the match in November. If I'm not mistaken, it was November, and I mean he was there, right? That was the match that Di
Yeah.
Maria scored and Papu started. And this is a valid point as well from Calvin. He says my pick would be Lo Celso, even though he tends to fade away after 60 minutes, which is true for the most part, absolutely. And I would pick Papu second, or maybe in a front three of some sort. So that appears to be the general answers that we're getting. It's Papu Gomez and Gio Lo Celso. And we got another question here, a very good one. Right backs, because, and I want to talk a little bit about the left backs and the right backs, because I thought Tagliafico was definitely one of Argentina's best players tonight, despite, in my opinion, the ridiculous handball penalty on him. Uh, which I'll be very honest, I don't know if it was the picture quality on my end. I did not even see the ball hit the hand. I thought it was more like the thigh or the leg.
I read a comment that Rulli said in an interview after the game that
Yeah.
Tagliafico told him that he did touch the
Okay.
ball with the hand,
Okay.
which is, I don't know, but that moment, that when he brought
It's
the arm back, like following the ball, and well, he risked touching the ball, and if he touched the ball, well, what
yeah,
can you do? It's a bit ridiculous.
yeah. But
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, for me, that this is part of the problem that I have with VAR, and not necessarily the referee, but when it takes that long, when it takes 3-4 minutes to decide if it's a penalty or not, and especially considering, I mean, look, if, this could have been a World Cup game, and this could have ended very differently. Argentina's lucky in the sense that its final World Cup qualifier match doesn't necessarily mean too much. Yes, 30 matches and now 31 matches undefeated, but aside from that,
Yeah,
not really
yeah.
much to play for. So it could have been a lot worse. But the fact that it takes 3-4 minutes with VAR, and I mean that in and of itself should be kind of your
Yeah.
answer in terms of it's not a penalty. But and then I know I'm going to ask you about the left back, even though I
Yeah,
know for
no,
you
you
it's
don't
going to
need to
be
ask me.
Acuna, which I
It's
agree with.
Acuna, although
I agree with, even though I thought Tagliafico's had a very, very good match tonight. But the right back, do you go with Molina, Montiel, Foyth, and everybody in the chat as well? Let me know
yeah,
if they've
I
already.
would say not Foyt, not
Yeah,
Foyt.
mm,
I mean,
yeah,
we discussed him in previous videos as well.
we did.
Um, I think he's not a top option at center defender, center back, and he's not a top option at right back. He's kind of he falls in the middle. Maybe if we play three at the back, he will have more chances. But we're playing with the back four, and to me, I've seen more than enough um, to say that I'm pretty confident with the two that we have, Molina, Montiel. Either way, I'm happy either way. When I see any of those two starting, I have no issues. Molina has had great games for Argentina. We are using his link up game with Messi, but most importantly with the ball. They used to play together at Udinese for a long, long time, so they have a perfect understanding. Montiel had a fantastic Copa America final at the Maracanã. He's a winner. He's very tough when it comes to man marking. So I'm very happy with both of them. So, but not Foyt for me, in
Yeah.
my opinion. No.
Uh, Once more said, but I mean, we're on the same page. I tend to agree. Like you said, we've spoken about Foyt several times. I'm not his biggest fan. Nothing against him personally. Just something about him. I don't know if it's a confidence level or whatnot. But whenever he's played for Argentina, he puts in the effort. It's just it hasn't really worked out for him. And this is a Very good
Yeah,
comment, actually. I fully agree with what Sam clips. Right back depends on the opposition. Montiel in tougher matches, and Molina in games where we will see more of the ball. Yeah, I think Montiel is more physical. I thought Ecuador did a very good job in attacking his flank, his side. I thought he more than held his own. I didn't think yes, they attacked him specifically in the first half, but I thought for the most part he did well. Montiel's maybe a bit more attack minded than, sorry, Molina's maybe a bit more attack minded than Montiel.
yeah.
But like you said, I mean, chances are
No, it's a
Argentina do not.
very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, chances are Argentina does not win the Copa America if Montiel doesn't play the way that he played against them. And this is, I mean, this is right here. Brazil against Vinicius, he had him. Um, right back depends on the opposition. I love Zanetti, but at this point, I think we're I think we're good. Although I don't doubt that he could probably still
Yeah.
play at a very very high level.
He
Um,
still has the same hair.
Same hair. I
He's
don't understand.
Yeah,
I grew
same
up as a
hairstyle. Yeah.
kid watching him, and he's still not a hair out of place. Not a hair out of place. Molina is more of a wing
Yeah.
back, and this is a good point as well. Montiel just coming back from injury for Sevilla too, so that's another one.
Right.
And
Roy,
yes,
I wanted to mix it up a little bit.
absolutely. Let's
And
do it.
mention a couple of things. I mean, two points going forward.
Let's do
One,
it.
it's if we can look a little bit back
Back.
and review the entire World Cup qualifier campaign together with our
Yes.
viewers and readers. Highlight the best games, best goals, best performances. Even compare with previous World Cup qualifying campaigns
Absolutely.
to see how high it ranks. I mean, we're still undefeated. One game to go. Remember, always that asterisk,
Yeah.
because Brazil didn't want to play that day. But that
Yes.
on the one hand, and on the other hand, start looking forward
Yeah.
and thinking about the World Cup draw that we have this Friday. We are planning on doing a live video reaction for the World Cup draw. If everything goes according to plan, we'll be together with
Yes.
all of you that want to join us. But the question that I put out there to everybody: who do you want to avoid? Who do you want to
Ooh.
get in your group? Um,
So
we know it's not going to be like all the last, I don't know how many World Cups that we have Nigeria in the group. We always seem to get Nigeria. It's not going to be them this time. But who do you want to see
yeah.
from the different continents? Who do you want to avoid at all costs? I'm torn between a couple of decisions there. There's a couple that could go either way. So I want to know what do you guys think of, and uh, what ends up being the nation that everybody picks or nobody
Yeah.
wants to play against. So do you want to start with the review of the qualifiers and then we move
Let's
on to the draw? Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's start off with the qualifiers. We'll get that out of the way, and then move to the World Cup draw, which is on Friday, like you mentioned, Seba. We'll certainly be doing some sort of live reaction video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up the qualifiers from the first match, and we don't have to go into too much detail, obviously,
Oh,
just to see. So let's put this up on screen.
yeah.
Share
I
this.
probably won't remember
That's
most of
fine.
this. I
That's why.
remember things that happened 40 years ago, not
Oh,
the things that happened.
our everybody in the chat remembers. So the first match actually was against Ecuador, so the same match we started. And if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, this one was at La Bombonera, and it was a Lionel Messi penalty. So this was the first match after COVID, Argentina's first match in roughly a year.
Yeah.
In
And as I
October.
said, I don't remember a
You don't
thing about it.
remember?
Yeah, but we have people with good memory. I remember the
Yeah.
second. Yeah, I remember the second one because it was
See, I
significant for me. It was one of the highlights, I would say, of the
yeah,
campaign
La
because
Paz.
we won in the altitude of La Paz. We won with a comeback because we were losing, we were trailing. Of course, Marcelo Moreno scored for Bolivia, like he does
Yeah,
all the time. And I remember it was like a fluke goal. Lautaro tried to stop or deflect or block a ball, and
off
it
the
went
wing.
in. Yeah, and then Correa, one of the
Joaquin.
173 Correas that we have in the team, Joaquin Correa, with a beautiful goal. I remember that, and that
Yeah,
I think gave the team a
that push.
giant boost. Yeah,
Yeah,
giant boost. So 6 points out of six, a comeback win, a hard fought win against Ecuador with a penalty. Um,
And
wasn't that the game against Ecuador that they ruled out a goal with VAR like 20 minutes after?
I I think it was that. That was a match where Palacios, I think, got injured as well. Ezekiel
Oh,
Palacios, if I'm not mistaken. He got injured. But you
right.
could be right on that VAR disallowed goal. Let us know in the chat, everybody. Let us know. You
Yeah.
have a better memory than than
Yeah.
the both of us combined. But you could be right, Seba. You could
Yeah.
be right on that. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think the match against Bolivia, a big, big boost. Just because we haven't won or we had not won at the time in Bolivia in
Yeah. It's always
forever.
difficult. It's always
It's always
difficult.
difficult,
Oh,
and to
yeah.
get that
This,
goal and
the
Paraguay,
disallowed goal was later on, yeah, against Paraguay. Sorry, yeah,
Paraguay. There you
I
go.
mixed it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
but
crazy because it was like, okay, let's review what happened, and then they
yeah,
had to take the play like 20 minutes
before,
before because it was so many passes, so many things happened. It was a
yeah,
silly foul next to the sideline,
it was,
and yeah, they brought that goal back. It was a
yeah,
fantastic goal, also. So
true.
it was
But
bad.
But you know what? You mentioned a VAR, the goal by Correa against Bolivia. If I'm not mistaken, that one went to VAR too, and they ended up giving it. I think
Mhm.
it was close to being called on offside. So that was a big, big match in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So there was that. Now let's continue. I'll be very honest. I don't remember much of this one. Argentina versus Paraguay. Nicolas
I
Gonzalez, the goal scorer.
right.
Ah,
Um,
this was the one we were
I,
just talking about. There you
I think it
go.
was a header. Yeah, it was a header from
It was a
Nico Gonzalez.
corner, yeah, corner
Yeah,
kick, and Nicolas Gonzalez got the goal. This one once more was at La Bombonera,
yeah, with the
and
disallowed goal, of course. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yes, and the
Um,
next one versus Peru, Nicolas Gonzalez again, and your boy
yeah.
Lautaro Martinez, Lautaro Seba. He's been
No,
missed recently.
yes, yeah. It was an unfortunate COVID casualty at the last minute. Um, but one of the things, this was one of the goals that Lautaro scored that didn't earn Argentina any points because it was the second goal in a 2-0. But the beauty of Lautaro's campaign for these World Cup qualifiers is that he scored 7 goals. 4 of them were away from home,
Yes,
and if I'm not mistaken,
four of
13
them
points and 13 points were
won.
won with his goals because he either scored a winner or, like in Bolivia, he earned the point for Argentina with a uh, uh, temporary 1-0
Yeah,
draw that was converted into 3 points later for by Javier Correa, but Joaquin Correa, sorry. And I think it's important because the level of goals he's been scoring and the importance of those goals. It's often the long goal in a one
cannot
nil
be understated.
win, or the winner, like in Chile, he scored the winner in a 2-1 win.
Hmm.
Um, I think the other goal that he scored that was meaningless, so to speak, it was the third goal in a 3-0 against Uruguay,
Against Uruguay.
which is good for his
Yeah,
confidence. But he ended up being really high up in the goal scoring charts in this World Cup qualifiers. I think Marcelo Moreno was was the leading scorer. Then I
Ne-
think Neymar, but
Neymar
Neymar
with
scored
eight.
like a bunch of penalties scored as well,
Yeah,
and then Messi and Lautaro with 7. I think it's fair to say he was one of the main stars in this World Cup qualifying campaign,
he was.
even
Yeah,
though sorry, no, even though I think it was more of a team effort. It was collective, um, good performance that brought us there. But I wanted to highlight that because I think
yes.
for Lautaro it was like the moment, the time where he properly owned the starting role as a striker for Argentina.
Yeah, I mean, he made that number nine position his, I think, at the 2019 Copa America, where he scored some important goals in the knockout
Yeah,
stages. And it showed, I think at one point he was on 6 goals in 11 matches or 12 matches or something. And then these qualifiers, you mentioned it, Seb, I have the numbers in front of me. Marcelo Moreno with 10 goals, and I think all 10 goals probably came in La Paz,
in the altitude. Yeah,
the altitude. Second were Neymar and Luis Suarez with 8. And then third on 7 goals, Lautaro Martinez and Lionel Messi. And Lautaro missed the last 2 matches as well. So he's definitely made that number nine position his. And we've missed him when he hasn't been there for the most part. We've missed him. And just reading off of what you sent me earlier, Seba, It's only his goals against Uruguay and Peru, like like you mentioned, did not give Argentina the points, so to speak.
Yeah,
7 goals, 4 away from home, and 4 of them were winners, so match winners. So 12 points right there. He's absolutely, he's been impeccable for Argentina. And there was a comment,
fantastic.
he's better for Argentina than he is for Inter, and I have no problem with that. I have no
Yeah,
problem with that.
we got to a point in which Messi was better for Argentina than Barcelona,
Yeah.
better for Argentina than for PSG. It was always the other way around. People used to
Yes.
criticize him a lot when he was dominating world football on his own, and he was criticized only in Argentina, which was pretty
Ridiculous.
pretty stupid.
Yeah.
But
And
he
you used to call
managed
him
to turn that
Catalan.
around. Yeah, remember?
Of course,
Oh,
of course.
but
But
yeah, I think the
oh,
highlight, talking about games in particular, the highlight for me was the demolition of Uruguay. I'm probably getting ahead. I'm
it's
probably
okay.
getting too
It's okay. And
way ahead.
sorry, Seba, and everybody
Yeah,
else in the chat as well. What were your top moments of the qualifiers? Let us know. Seba, 3-0 versus Uruguay.
yeah, yeah. That was a proper symphony. I think it was fantastic because we know Uruguay was still with Tavares. They needed a change.
Hmm.
They got it, and they ended up qualifying to the World Cup with one game to spare, which was not something that everybody would bank on happening. Because I remember us discussing whether Uruguay were out or not. I think they were helped by Colombia's inability to score for 7 games in a row, which kept giving Uruguay chances,
Yeah.
and Uruguay took them. They play like a big team in South America. They have a lot of
Mhm.
history, tradition, even though they're a small country with only 3 million people. They always put 11 warriors there, and not just warriors. They have a lot of quality, and it showed. So
Yeah.
hats off to Uruguay, and that's why I think it was very important for Argentina to put out or put on such a dominant performance against them. A 3-nil easy win, uh, and it was the way we win it, not just the way we won it, not just the score.
Yeah.
That really impressed me, and I think that's the highlight of the entire World Cup qualifiers for Argentina.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably my favorite match, just for literally every single reason that you just mentioned. Just the opponent, it's Uruguay. Um, it was such a big match. The goals, it felt like Argentina. I mean, this was champagne football, right? I think we called it that night, champagne football
Yeah,
from them, and it was just wow, wow.
yeah.
Matthew, there you go. The champagne was the best throughout the qualifiers. Yeah,
Can you bring one of Carlos Urquiola's comments?
which
Just a
one?
couple of comments before Master. That one, that one, I think it was very emotional. Messi with a
Yeah,
hat trick,
and
the
then
entire Monumental Stadium, just pouring with love for the
yeah,
national team. The Copa America triumph really near in terms of time, really close to everybody's heart. And Messi put on a show there to
oh,
celebrate. Obviously, the opposition wasn't the
it
best, but those
it
kind
was
of
fine.
games
It doesn't
could
matter on
turn
the
sour
opposition.
pretty soon. Yeah, but yeah, it was. I think it was really emotional. The players parading with the Copa America trophy. Um, Dibu Martinez dancing in the background
Yeah.
with the trophy as well. The psychopath that he is.
uh,
But I think it was another proper highlight of this World Cup qualifying campaign. Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, there was a lot of them. One of them, I'll be very honest, one that maybe I don't think anyone has mentioned, at least not in the chat. Argentina versus Chile, the one just last month or two
Yeah,
months ago now, without Messi, away from home against against a Chilean team who needed the points, and
yeah.
they didn't get it. Argentina was just
They
too
took
strong for
us
them.
to the desert, bit of
Yeah,
altitude as well.
yeah,
It's
uh,
not. It
uh,
wasn't easy, but we wanted. I felt they were going to throw everything at us when they managed to equalize, but then we hit back. I think we
oof,
won. uh,
Yeah,
pretty fairly.
yeah.
And yeah, it's
There's
another piece of the
the
puzzle that took us to 30, 31
30,
games
yeah.
undefeated.
Yeah. Another one actually against Uruguay, but this is the other match against Uruguay, which was Di Maria. Di Maria's goal against Uruguay, with Dybala getting the
Yeah,
assist. What a goal! What a
yeah.
goal! And I don't know if you saw this, Sib, but I think you did, and I think we even shared it in the chat. But the Uruguayan commentator who was talking about Dybala and Di Maria right before Di Maria scored, and he was saying how they were not good enough for the national team and all of that stuff. And then Dybala gets the ball, steals it, passes it to Di Maria, and scores. So I thought that was a nice little
Please bring
anecdote.
Calvin's comment, please. I was about to I was about to forget that, but this was
In
probably.
Brazil,
And that guy
a gun.
had a gun.
He had a
So
gun.
Otamendi and Acuna were fighting with a guy with a gun. And I don't know about you, but I think the favorites to win in that fight were Otamendi and Acuna. I don't
Absolutely.
care I don't care about the weapons. I
Oh my
mean,
god.
Otamendi and Acuna. Are you crazy? Even if I had a revolver, I wouldn't face
No,
those two.
no, and
But yeah, it was bizarre, absolutely bizarre moment. I remember we were all furious because first, let's being serious. Um, we were afraid for the players' integrity. I
of
mean, they
course.
were. I mean, we didn't know what was going on, and then we saw this guy was armed, and so that on one hand we had that being concerned about the players'
Player safety.
integrity,
Yeah.
and then we were pissed off because we wanted to see a Brazil Argentina. We wanted to see whether we could beat them again. We
Yeah.
just won the Copa America in Brazil. We wanted
Not
to do that
not if we
again.
can beat not if we can beat them again, but by how many goals can we beat them again?
Yeah, I remember. I remember. I think Otamendi was.
Almost scored.
He came in with a tackle that was brutal, brutal. Like 30 seconds in, and he went like. Phew, could have been a red card. I don't know,
Uh,
but I was really up for it. I was furious because
yeah,
they stole a game from us in terms of not Brazil, but these authorities, these
yeah,
muppets that were there to create chaos. They stole 90 minutes of football from us. I mean, Brazil Argentina. What's the game that you're feeling more anticipation towards? It's that
exactly.
one. So we're gonna have to wait, and it's gonna be played when all of a sudden it's not relevant
It's
for the campaign,
yeah,
but it's always relevant. We don't want to
of
lose that
course,
one, but you know what I mean.
of
So
course.
so yeah,
That's
yeah,
that was one. That was
another
one.
highlight.
Another highlight of many, and absolutely, Father Miguel. Yes, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. We got a lot of stuff. We got the World Cup draw coming up on Sunday, which we're gonna react to live with everybody as well.
Friday. No,
Friday
don't push it. Yeah, don't push it back 2 days because you said
when
Sunday.
I said
No, don't.
Sunday,
Yeah, don't push it back 2 days because
Friday,
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be Friday. Yeah, we're gonna
Friday,
be
Friday.
there. And yeah, let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about the draw. I really love World Cup draws. All the drama. Sometimes it's unnecessary. You feel bad about some of the teams that get in your group. The
Yeah.
important thing is that we are there. The second most important thing is that we are on pot one,
Oh yes.
and yeah,
So
and
we avoid some of the
yeah,
bigger teams.
exactly. But if you look at pot two, I don't know if you have it
Yeah, I have it right here. I'm
ready.
just I'm
Let's
just
bring
pulling
let's
out.
bring the different pots and let's pick
Yeah,
one from each pot. I think that
let's
could
do it.
be that could make an interesting game.
Yeah, this will we'll do this. Yeah, here we go. It's this. So what we have here, here we go. So we have is in pot one, we have the hosts Qatar with Brazil, Belgium, who are still somehow ranked number one in the FIFA rankings, France, Argentina, England, where it did not go home, Spain, and Portugal, who had to defeat the mighty North Macedonia to get into pot one.
Right.
Pot two, Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, Switzerland, Uruguay, and Croatia.
Yeah.
And part three, Iran, Japan, is that Serbia, I believe? Serbia,
Serbia,
Poland, Morocco,
Poland.
South Korea.
Yeah.
And part four, Ecuador, Saudi Arabia, Ghana, Cameroon.
Yeah,
Cameroon,
Cameroon
Algeria.
was, that was a fantastic finish to a game. Ah man, I feel like I want to speak about the indomitable lions. The way they qualify. Oh my god, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near Algeria's number three, because the way he didn't play. I mean, the way he played onside everybody from the Cameroon team
Yeah,
at such a crucial moment. If you have an opportunity, go watch that game. That I would be so frustrated if I was him. But um, the way they won it is a classic. It's that goes straight into football folklore of Cameroon. They will
absolutely.
remember that night forever. I mean, it was so
I
dramatic.
I did not watch the match. I was just kind of on Twitter and I saw Algeria scored. I think it was like the 90th minute, and people
Yeah,
were celebrating. So okay, I'm like, okay, well, Algeria's at the World Cup, and I closed Twitter, and about 10 minutes later, I open it, and everyone just has like, Cameroon, Cameroon. I'm like,
tell
what
you
happened?
what, I saw on Twitter that there were some people out in the streets in Algeria with
Celebrating.
fireworks celebrating,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
was, I mean, yeah, it was so late. Nobody knew what was going to happen a couple of
yeah.
minutes later. But that
Um,
I feel for that poor people that were out there celebrating, the usual, the parade, the
of
car,
course,
getting on top of the car,
the
throwing
players.
fireworks,
Yeah.
and all up in
Ah,
smoke in a
yeah.
matter of seconds. Sorry, we deviated a
No,
little bit
no,
from.
no, no, absolutely, absolutely not. No problem, no problem. And you know what? On the topic of teams qualified and not qualified, you mentioned it earlier. No Nigeria, Canada qualified. So Nigeria did not qualify in 1978 and did not qualify in 1986. And Canada qualified last in 1986. So I'll let you
Yeah,
know. I'll let you figure out what
I tell you, of
what
those
happened.
little nuggets of good omens
Yeah,
and whatnot. Of course, we hear a lot about Canada making it to the World Cup.
of course.
Congratulations to everybody in Canada watching. I think it's absolutely well deserved, absolutely fantastic
Yeah,
generation that they have there in Canada, and they waltz through the CONCACAF qualifiers, which are not easy.
yeah,
So hats off to Canada as well. But my favorite, it's a fact that um, some people in Argentina, those who are very superstitious, are concerned because Italy are not going to be in our group. They were
okay.
in our group in
In
78.
'86.
They were in our group in
Ah,
86. So we played both times against
oh
Italy,
boy.
and then we end up winning the World Cup. But fear not, because those games in 78 and in 86 were in the month of June, and we are playing Italy in the month of June. So
There
fear
you
not.
go.
Yeah,
I
fear
like
not.
that.
Yeah,
I
it's a
like
little
that, Seba.
twist, it's a license, a poetic license that I just took there, but it's true. It's the facts. It's an official
Nice.
game. We're going to play Italy in June, and
Oh,
then
Seba.
we'll see. We'll see. On the same year, we have a World Cup. So, uh,
There you go. That's if you're into if you are superstitious, that's like definitely a
yeah,
very,
you
very
can
good
hold
point.
on to that one. Yeah, you can hold on to that one.
Yeah. Now there was someone that mentioned about pot two, and if we look at pot two,
Yeah,
it's certainly I mean, Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, Uruguay, Switzerland, Croatia. These are all. I mean, Argentina's
yeah,
going to get one of them.
yeah.
And
I'm telling you, Uruguay,
wow,
we can
we
get
can't get
Uruguay.
Uruguay.
We can
Yeah,
get, so that's one team less to
I
be concerned about. But of course, there's two two teams missing in that pot. One will
yes,
be either Mexico or
Mexico
the
or United
US,
States.
and the other one will be one that will come from probably the
Uh,
European
I mean, this one here
qualifiers.
says Cameroon is three if Panama qualifies. Sorry, Costa Rica. So if Costa Rica qualifies, they go into pot two,
Right.
and Cameroon into pot three.
So, so what about
I think
Wales, Scotland? They're still in
there's still,
contest,
yeah. I
so
gotta,
maybe they go there. But anyway, of those that we are seeing there, I think I'll take. Damn, I think I'll take either
that's a difficult one.
Mexico or the US for
Mexico or the
sure.
US?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I would take Mexico, even though they always tend to step it up against Argentina at a tournament. I would say
yeah.
Mexico
But
is.
here's another twist that I thought about. What if we choose to get Germany in our group, and that
You,
way, Of
get
course,
it
we
out.
make our lives. Of course, we make our lives a little difficult in the group stages. But if we ended up being first or second in that group, then we make sure we don't face Germany up
Yeah,
until the final if we
the
were to
final.
progress. So it's a double-edged sword
It's
there. Um,
we could
that
see. I was thinking about that. I mean, do we just get Germany in the groups? But like you said, if we get Germany in the groups and we get a difficult group, then
yeah,
God forbid we could end up like a 2002 scenario. But at the same time, if we get out of it, you avoid Germany, like you said, for I think at the very least the semifinals. I would think, at the
yeah,
very least. And I mean, I'm looking here. The thrill says can't help but feel like we're going to get Germany or England. Well, we cannot get England.
exactly. They're
We can't
lucky.
get
They're lucky. They're lucky they cannot be in a group.
yeah,
Even though last
exactly.
time we were in the same group, they got the
Didn't work out so
advantage.
well.
Yeah, they got the win.
This is very true. It's going to be very unpredictable. So many good teams. I think I remember reading something. I think every single team so far that has qualified for this World Cup has previously qualified for a World Cup. I remember reading that. I can't,
Except for Qatar, right?
except for
Because
Qatar, the
yeah,
hosts. Yes.
of course. But
Um,
yeah, that was one
yeah.
of the things that I was thinking. I
Yeah.
think today Mali lost the opportunity to go to the first World Cup in their
Yeah.
history, if I'm not mistaken. They couldn't. They fell at the last hurdle. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there was any other that had any opportunity to
Uh,
go to their first World Cup.
yeah.
But yeah,
I,
they will all have experience. Yeah.
they're all gonna have experience. I mean, then you had Egypt who missed out at. Oof,
Oh,
oh my gosh, and that
that
was
was
a repeat
tough.
for them,
Yeah,
the
that
African
was
Cup of
tough.
Nations.
I think Queiroz was punished because he was too
Defensive,
negative,
negative.
too defensive. Not just today, but
Yeah,
in the first leg in Egypt, also in the African Cup of Nations. I was able to watch all three games between Senegal and Egypt, and absolutely Senegal. I really love them. I think they have a fantastic generation there.
they do.
Who could say anything but positive things about somebody like we could all say
Mendy,
about Sadio Mane?
Sadio Mane.
He's such a
Yeah,
good guy. He does so many things for his community, and I'm not even mentioning how great a player he is, but I think he really deserved to be the hero as well, to take his nation to the World Cup. I was really glad for him. Of course, you're disappointed because Salah, he's also fantastic guy and an amazing
yeah,
player. And he was unlucky because Egypt got to the World Cup, but he was injured last time around. This
yeah.
time he did all he could, but I think in the end, they Queiroz was punished by being
His
so defensive. He could have tried
very
something if something different. He could have go for an away goal tonight, cause some panic in Senegal, but it is what
yeah
it is. They missed a lot of penalty kicks, not just tonight, but also in the African Cup of Nations
in the
final. They
final.
missed two. They missed three today. I mean, it's
Yeah.
tough. It's really tough. Commiserations to anybody in Egypt as well because it's a
Oof.
tough one to take. But they lost to a fantastic team as well.
Yeah.
Um, and we'll see. We'll see how far they can go.
It's
And I don't wanna. I don't want Senegal in our group. I don't want Senegal
no,
in our group. Yeah.
no. I
I want to
don't.
go
I
on
don't.
record. I want to. I want to go on
uh,
record with that.
we'll go on this. So Miguel says dark horses USA, Ecuador, Morocco. I don't know if USA would be a dark horse. I'm not saying they're bad, obviously not, but I think they've had better generations.
Me too.
But they're there. You know, they can always eliminate you.
Yeah.
Carlos, the Dutch. I mean, that's another. And
Yeah.
they're kind of hit or miss, the Dutch lately.
Yeah. And I think the depth that they have in so many positions, maybe
Yeah,
they're lacking a little bit up front.
and goalkeeper, I
They're
think.
okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't think about it, but the defense that they have, midfielders,
they're
they're good. They're really
they
good. They're
have
really
it.
good. They
No,
missed the
they
last World Cup, right? They missed
they missed
Russia. Yeah,
2018. They were there in 2014. 2010 they made the final.
yeah,
2006 they had the brawl against Portugal.
yeah. Of
Uh,
course, I remember 2014. We beat them in the semifinals. It
in the
was
semis.
amazing.
Even you can remember that.
Oh yeah, because it happened a while ago. It didn't happen
Uh,
this morning. I would have
no, no, no.
forgotten.
But you know what? Another one. I mean, Van Gaal's back in charge, and he's so most of the time his teams are difficult to to
Yeah,
break down. Depay is decent up front. I think that's the one part which is up front that they're kind of missing. And I'm not going back all the way to Van Basten, but even like the Van Nistelrooys and stuff, or even Van Persie. I
yeah.
don't think Depay is at the same level as them, but I mean he can be
And
dangerous
also
on
he
his
needs
thing.
he needs a bit more company because Netherlands, they used to also have very difficult players on the wings, like
Wingers,
Robin, going back in time, Overmars,
of course.
so
They
many
they've had
talented players.
yeah, I know, especially recently. I mean, if you just, I mean, I say recently, but if you go back to 1998, in my opinion, they probably should have eliminated Brazil in '98. Very unlucky. I mean, Van der Sar was probably their weakest player in 1998. Them versus France, that final would have been,
Oh,
would have been incredible
yeah.
with the players that
But
they have.
dark horses, that's an interesting topic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree. Morocco, I think they had a rough time in the previous World Cup. I remember they were really strong in defense in the
Mhm.
qualifiers, and then they got to a group with Portugal and Spain, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, that's very unlucky. That's very unlucky. But they got a lot of experience there. They are always very talented, and I think yeah,
There's
they could be in that category
yeah.
of a dark horse. Yeah,
Of the dark horse. Jaco Taco brings up Sweden, who missed out to bonus. I did not want to play Sweden, not for anything, not because I necessarily feared them, but they were pretty decent at the Euros. They have some good players, and I always fear, even though I mean Otamendi, Christian Romero, and some of the others, but that height difference sometimes
oh yeah,
on corners or crosses or anything like that, sometimes I could really play against you.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
so there's that. I mean, Switzerland, another one, Raf. They're just difficult to break down. They're not fun to play against. They're very not fun. We witnessed it in
Yeah,
2014.
yeah.
No,
Excuse me, I'm
he's
not
sweating.
sweating. I know I'm not sweating
No,
now. This is from the game in 2014. I'm
2014.
just I'm cleaning
Oof.
my forehead
Yes.
because of the effects of that game, and just to
Still.
think about it. Remember that ball that hit the
Oh my
post?
God. Of course. Of course. It hit the post and it bounced back on the player. It hit his knee or his shin and then it went out. And then they had the free kick at the end, which was a complete dive by Shakiri.
Mm,
I think it hit Garay. I think the free kick
yeah,
hit Garay on the wall, and that
and
was it.
yeah, Switzerland, they have these. There's one advantage that they have is that they have like a team that is very multicultural, and
Yes,
they have talent that
from
from
everywhere.
from from young players that were born in
Yeah,
Switzerland with from parents families from Albania or um, what
everywhere.
is the other, yeah, like the former Yugoslavia
Yugoslavia,
nation.
I think Croatia or Serbia or
Yeah,
Montenegro.
they go there. They went there. They started playing for Switzerland, so they have the
Yeah.
Shakiris, the Shakas, and then they cop that with an amazing goalkeeper. And yeah,
Oof.
Fidel, yeah, that was that was a great goal. Kosovo, as Jakotako is saying, yeah, of course, they are, and it's amazing to see because they bring in talent from everywhere. And
Everywhere.
this is another topic, like we could be discussing this in future
In depth.
months, because another thing that I don't know if we mentioned was all of these European players that we were bringing on the basis of being born
Yes,
to Argentine parents in
in the
Italy or
youth.
Spain or different places. And I think that's going to be a pattern for us. It could look like what Switzerland is experiencing now.
Yeah.
Um, we had a big financial crisis when I was 23, 24 in 2001, and a lot of families had to emigrate. to try and look for a better life, try to look for a job, to
Mhm.
make it to the end of the month or whatever. So a lot of families in Argentina have roots in Spain and in Italy. There were 6 million Italians coming to
Wow.
Argentina in different waves of immigration. So that's why you see so many Italian surnames in the national team. Just to
Messi.
name a couple: Messi, Maradona,
Zanetti.
Zanetti. Yeah, a lot of Italian surnames. But these we're talking about like three or third, fourth generation of Argentine families. Like Maradona wasn't born to Italian parents. Maybe his grandparents were from Italy or great grandparents. But we're talking here about you know families emigrating from Argentina to Italy or Spain in at the start of the century, and now
Yeah.
these kids were born there, but they speak with an Argentine accent. Some of them, not
Not all. Not
Garnacho, for
Garnacho.
example. And then you have the Garnachos. His father is from Spain. He was born in
Hmm.
Madrid. His mother is from Argentina,
Argentina.
so he's entitled to play for Argentina. And it's funny to hear because he speaks like it's someone from Spain, of course,
In Spain.
but a very very heavy, thick Spanish accent. But he loves it here. Scaloni did well, not just Scaloni, but the whole team. And I think it's valid, and I think it's good. Canada is another example
Of
of
course.
bringing different nationalities together and
Alfonso Davies.
creating. Yeah, there's an Argentine guy playing for Canada. I heard this week.
Isn't he Uruguayan? I thought he was Uruguayan.
There's an Argentine guy as well.
Is
It
it?
could be there could be an Uruguayan, but there's an Argentine guy. Maybe some
Okay.
of our readers or viewers know who I'm talking about because the name escapes now. But it's I like it because it's proper multicultural stuff
Ah,
um,
he is
going
Argentine.
on, and these teams get better by adding different attributes, different talents, different ways
Yeah.
of playing. Well, even Christian Pulisic for the US, um, it's another
Yeah.
example of this of different
Lucas
cultures
Cavallini.
getting together. Lucas Cavallini, yeah, that's
There
it,
you
that's
go.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
grande
Uh,
Sivan. Hi,
and
hello
Jack
Malaysia.
Attack almost had it. Yeah, Jack
Yeah.
Attack almost got it. He said Lucas something. Um, there was a comment as we were discussing all of this, and previously this was the Confederations Cup.
Oh,
Uh, the word escapes me, but essentially you did not want to win the Confederations Cup. There's
because it's a jinx.
exactly, you would win the Confederations
Okay.
Cup and you wouldn't do well the next year. But there's also another one, which was the World Cup, and I'm looking for the comment here, and I can't seem to find it. But essentially, if you look at the World Cup, the champions, the next, I mean, you look at France won it in 1998. Look what happened to them in 2002. Not
Okay.
very good.
Yeah.
Italy 2006. Look what happened in 2010. Spain in 2010 got eliminated in the groups. 2014. 14 Germany to 18 eliminated in the groups. Do you see France getting eliminated in the groups, or it's
I
not the
hope.
same thing? No way. That would be huge. That would be huge.
I hope. I hope. Yeah, I was thinking we made it to two finals in a row, just like the Netherlands in '74 and
Yes.
'78. They lost
70%.
both, and then we made it in '86. We won it, and in '90 we. It's not like it was a disaster. It was a
No, made the
very good
final.
campaign. I think we overachieved in so many ways because that team
Yeah.
wasn't at its best. We're
No.
missing a lot of players, but we made it to two consecutive finals, and I thought that was the normal things because I was 9 and 13, so that's all I knew. Argentina playing in the World Cup
Argentina.
final. Yeah, I remember what happened to France last time they won the World Cup. They didn't even go to the next one, right? Or
No, in '98 they were there in 2002, but they got
uh,
eliminated in the groups. I
they
think
got
they
knocked
lost their
out.
opening 1-0 versus Senegal. I think.
And who was in their group? Yeah, Senegal, of course. That
Senegal.
was yeah. Senegal. I think Denmark was there with them as well.
Oh, I
But
can't
yeah,
remember.
it's I don't. I'm not a. I'm a bit superstitious, but not that much in this because it's a long process, 4 years. You could
Yeah.
do a lot of things in a good way and still get eliminated. It could be that's the beauty of it because you can prepare, you can play 89 excellent minutes and then have a 1 minute of madness,
Yeah.
and be knocked out. I mean, if you look at Argentina in 2002, who would think
Uh,
we would be eliminated in the? It's not like we were a disaster or we did a lot of
no.
things wrong, but it was decided in the little details and it didn't go our way.
No.
But for France, I mean, they could bring their third string team to the World Cup and still compete. I
They,
mean, they're
yeah.
really, really scary, really, really scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't think they will be a disaster at the World Cup
No.
unless there is some truth to the superstitions.
I don't know, but see, but who would have said Germany in 2018? I mean,
Oh,
they were
that was a
rebuilding,
disaster.
but at the same time, it's still Germany and
Yeah.
wow. But I mean, Raf says France is strong. The weakest link is their coach. Maybe, but this coach also won the World Cup, so they must be doing something right. But absolutely, I mean, especially if the form that Mbappe is in, if he continues that form, because Mbappe now is not the same Mbappe from 4 years ago in
Ah, it's
2018.
scary, scary.
It's, I
No,
mean,
but
for
also if they get their act together and they bring Benzema as they should,
yeah,
you have
they,
two guys there. Then you have Griezmann, then you have Kante, Pogba. Of course, I don't wanna continue
no,
because I'll turn off the computer and go to sleep crying. But and to think we were so close to make a fantastic comeback against them.
should have.
And if we took that game to the extra time, they were already
Argentina was,
without Kante. They were already without Kante, without Griezmann, without Mbappe.
yeah,
It
a
wasn't
lot,
to
a
be.
lot. No,
Yeah.
no, a lot. Jack Otako says, I had it here. In the words of the late Luis Ramon, I so scared Chico. Bring on France. I don't know about bring on France, but I mean, if we have to, we have to.
Yeah, I'm more in the mode of more than Razor Ramon. I'm more Tony Montana.
Tony Montana.
Like
Well,
say,
Razor Ramon was based off Tony Montana, so the character was
yeah,
based.
it's all or nothing. That's a
Exactly.
mentality. That's a mentality. What about
Exactly.
Brazil? Let's take a moment to talk about Brazil. Yeah,
Yes.
because
Yes.
that
Uh,
that was. I mean, I wouldn't say quietly because of course they're always Brazil.
absolutely.
Everybody pays attention to them. Of course, they're not flying under anybody's radar.
No.
But the way that they just saw off all opposition except for Argentina, it was a draw and a game to be played. But do you have the numbers for their World Cup qualifying
Yeah, I
campaign?
do. I was
Because we
actually
beat
just.
them, we beat them in the Copa America final, of
Sorry.
course. But the way they just played around with the opposition, the way
They.
they're scoring for fun, they're not even sweating to win a football game, and they're gonna be freaking scary come
They're.
World Cup.
I was just looking at this. I did not see their score today. 4-0 against Bolivia in
Yeah,
La
in
Paz
the
in
altitude. No, no,
the
no.
altitude. But if we take a look at them, so if we go, I mean, 45 points, 14 wins, 3 draws, technically 0 defeats, technically. But
And
I mean,
40 goals score. 40 goals
40
scored.
goals scored,
Only
5
five
scored
conceded.
against. Um,
It's
that's
look at
scary.
the first column. You can see all their home games. 4-1,
Yeah,
2-0, 2-0, 1-0, 4-0, 4-0, 5-0, 1-0.
yeah.
That's stupid. And
Only Uruguay scored against them at home, which
yeah.
is, I mean, absolutely scary in every sense of the word. Um, and I'm curious to know who the other teams or what the other goals were. So
No,
Peru, Peru
go up.
scored twice.
You can see on the vertical column, on the first vertical column.
Ah, you're
The
right.
score, there you go. So it was a one all draw against Ecuador in the altitude.
Yeah, and
Uh,
Peru twice.
yeah, and what are the draws? Oh, there you go. There's
Yeah,
nil-nil against Argentina and nil-nil against
wow.
Colombia away.
Oof. I mean,
So
yeah,
ridiculous. I think this has to be the best World Cup qualifying campaign in South America under this format. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if it's the best campaign for Argentina. It could be, but overall, I
yeah.
think it would be very difficult to find a campaign like that. It's ridiculous.
They played well, and to a certain degree, and I'm not trying to discredit Brazil in any means. I mean, it's not like the quality in South America is horrible. I think we have seen better years in South America,
Yeah.
specifically in the past 10 years or so when opposition was better. Now, not as much, but still, I mean, to do
Yeah,
what they've been able to do, it's scary. But
yeah,
a good point by Jaco Taco. Their defense at times not always the best,
yeah. I mean,
but
we could look at those results and the games, and we could argue against that point. I mean, I see what you mean. Most of these games are pretty uneven in terms of quality. The gap is
that's
getting
what I
bigger
mean.
and bigger.
Yeah,
But also, let's not forget Brazil had to endure very turbulent times
yeah,
this year in this campaign. They had the controversy around the Copa America
Copa America.
switching to the last minute to be played in Brazil. It wasn't going to be played in Brazil. It
Mhm.
got switched last minute last year, and players were fighting against their federation. The federation were fighting against the government.
Yeah,
Everybody was fighting there. It's not easy to, you
to
know,
manage.
yeah, and to forget about all that noise and play your football. In a way, I think that really hurt them in the Copa America. It also hurt them in front of their public
Hmm.
because people started turning their back against the national team. They were not fully supported as they always been. So yeah, it wasn't easy. And all things considered, they just walled through the World Cup qualifiers, and they're gonna be absolutely scary, and they're gonna have their blood in the eye if they have to face us. You know,
Argentina, yeah.
because there, it wasn't easy for them to take that defeat in the Maracanã.
No,
So
no. And you can tell the match that we did play in Argentina. Forget the one that was suspended after 5 minutes in Brazil. The match we did play against Argentina, they played well.
yeah,
Brazil played well. They didn't. It wasn't like Argentina didn't dominate against Brazil in that match. It was very even. Do they have any weak parts? I mean, someone here mentioned, I think it was Jaco Taco, that said, "Hey, you know what? I think Marquinhos, for example, the back line. Do you think so or not so much?
I'm a big admirer of Tite, the manager. I
Yeah,
think that's probably um, the main factor for Brazil to be playing this way, for them to be united again. Um, and I think if I can think of any weak link or potential issue, could
yeah.
be what happens with Neymar and around Neymar. He could be the decisive factor
Off the pitch, you
if
mean?
he's on point, if he has no issues, or he's already talking about this being his last World Cup. Everybody is a bit like shocked because he's young. He could be playing a couple more World Cups, but he's the way he said it is like he lost that ambition or the desire to be in the game. Looks like he's a bit fed up with everything that's around football.
Yeah.
So I would be paying attention to that. But other than that, I wouldn't say they have any weak links. Maybe the left back was an issue when Renan Lodi was there,
Lodi.
and we exploited that. But they're so loaded in
They're,
terms of depth.
they they are they are, and I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, and I know this is probably gonna sound absolutely ridiculous, and you're gonna call me crazy, and maybe I am, maybe I am. Uh, and I know the names I'm going to say, and you're just gonna look at me. You're gonna say no. Like, I'm gonna completely ignore everything you're gonna say. There are two goalkeepers, Allison and Ederson. Now I know all of us watch a lot of football, but on their day, they've been pretty weak. I mean, Ederson likes to show off with his feet, but Ederson, and I'm sorry for any Manchester City fans, Ederson's far from being a world class goalkeeper. He's world class with his feet. When it comes to his reactions at times, I think that could cost him. Allison at times for Liverpool has goals that you look and you say he should have saved those, so to speak. I'm not saying they're weak, absolutely not. I mean, Allison probably starts for 99% of most national teams, but I think on their day they can get caught. The thing is, they have those tricky wingers up front, and I remember we spoke about them at one point.
Yeah,
The kid from
Vinicius,
Ajax,
Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
They can cause a lot of problems.
They're loaded. Yeah, yeah. Um, this is Mundo Albiceleste, not Mundo Verde Amarelo. So
Exactly.
we are going to be stopping
We're gonna stop with that.
this conversation about Brazil. I thought we were talking about World Cup. They are going to be a force to be reckoned with, I
They're
think,
gonna be stout.
and yeah, they need to be respected absolutely. So
Absolutely, a thousand.
yeah,
If for nothing, at least based off their history, which they don't even technically need because
of
they're
course.
just such a stacked team. But Allison can be very prone at times. Now I like this. I think Martinez is much better than Ederson. There you go. I like that. I like these
I'm
comments.
crazier. I'm
And
crazier.
crazy.
Yeah,
I don't
which
think there's a
is
crazier goalkeeper.
which is essential for a goalkeeper. Yeah,
All right, so let's go back just a little bit.
yeah,
And I know we are missing some teams, and I'm trying to look for it, but I can't really find it. So let me share the pots once more, and I want everybody in the chat, and obviously yourself, Seba, but I want everybody to kind of tell me what teams would you avoid or what teams would you want. So if we go back and we just kind of share this for a second, um, based off this, is there a team from pot two? You said Mexico or United States from pot two that you would want to play. In terms of pot three, Seba, is
yeah.
there a team here that you look and say, I would want to play them? Is there a team?
I'm thinking. Um, I remember I have some nightmares remembering every time.
Iran?
Well, yeah, Iran when we had to play Iran,
Yeah.
it wasn't easy.
Mhm.
Morocco seems to be pretty complete. They have a good defense. I would say give me Serbia out of this.
Serbia. Okay.
Yeah, give me
Okay,
Serbia
Serbia.
or yeah, Serbia, Serbia.
Serbia? Okay.
Also Japan. Also Japan. I think they used to
Yeah.
be better than they have been lately. They could cause problems, of course, but yeah, I would say give me Serbia or Japan. Yeah,
Okay, Serbia or
because of
Japan.
the way we play, because of
Yeah.
our style and how I would think it would match against them.
I I think we would match up well. Serbia, I think physically is a maybe a stronger team physically. So if we just take a look, I mean, you got a couple of people that agree with you, Seba. Japan here.
Yeah,
Jakutako says, "Give me Japan." Um,
there's
yeah, that's
he says
Poland.
that yeah that was a comment that I was looking at. I would take Poland. I said if Lewandowski is injured, yeah. No, but, I think Poland could create a lot of issues. They
Yeah.
could, yeah, they could be very very competent in defense, and they could really cause issues with with players like Zielinski.
Mhm.
Um, Lewandowski is a threat. Is one of the best
Absolutely.
strikers in the world, if not the best. So yeah, I would stay away from Poland. Yeah,
All right. So we're staying away from Poland, preferably Serbia or Japan. Pot four, if we look at pot four, we cannot
yeah,
be drawn with Ecuador, obviously. So it's Saudi
yeah.
Arabia, Ghana, Cameroon, possibly Canada or Tunisia. I think my
Right.
pick is Saudi Arabia. I think that's my
Yeah, of those that I'm seeing there, yeah, I would
yeah.
pick Saudi Arabia, especially because there's a three teams that we don't know uh, who they are, the three playoff winners. So I'm sticking to the flags that are are up there. So yeah, I'm saying Saudi Arabia. I definitely want to avoid African opposition
Yeah.
um,
I mean,
because I think they're very very good.
yeah, we tend to be drawn, and I think we always get an African team. In 2018 was Nigeria, 2014 Nigeria, 2010 Nigeria. So we always 2006 was Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire. So there's always we always get some strong African teams. I'm just trying
Yeah,
to look for
we tend to do well as well because I think with Nigeria, I think we beat them in every World Cup that we played against. Yeah,
yeah, Nigeria
Uh,
every single one, and
they're
not
always but they're always complicated. I remember Cameroon in 1990, of course, that wasn't easy, and of course they're getting better and better.
yeah.
And yeah, Jambi says it in the comments. The trauma comes from when we faced Cameroon in 1990. Absolutely.
Ah, the opening
Um,
match.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because as I
Mhm.
was saying, we beat Nigeria every time that we play against them, and they had some very very good teams uh, in many of those tournaments. But I don't know. I think this team could do better
Yeah.
against a team like Saudi Arabia, um, and not having to face the pace of a Senegal hitting you in the counter attack. Um, I would
That's
try to avoid that.
no, absolutely. That's no, no. And I think I found one with a more, I think, up to date, so to speak.
Oh,
So
good.
pot two. So it is Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, Switzerland, Uruguay, Croatia, and still waiting on USA, Mexico, and Senegal.
So Senegal can be there. So yeah,
Mm,
definitely, I'll take it. I'll take USA or Mexico
or
from that
Mexico.
from, from
Uh,
that group.
Pot three, Iran, Japan, Morocco, Serbia, Poland, South Korea. Still waiting either Senegal, Canada,
Senegal can be there
Tunisia, or
too.
Cameroon.
Okay, okay.
Wow.
Tunisia, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, there's
Hmm.
that. And then pot four, Ecuador, which
Oh,
impossible for
sorry,
Argentina.
sorry. Saudi Arabia was in pot
It's
four. Sorry,
it's okay.
sorry.
So
I got it mixed up.
it's all right. So Ecuador,
I'm
pot
too.
four, Saudi Arabia, Ghana, Canada, Tunisia, Cameroon. Then you have the UEFA playoff, which, well, yeah, UEFA
Hmm.
playoff, CONMEBOL, and CONCACAF. So pot four is still
So
very much undetermined.
that
Pot four.
UEFA playoff has to be either Wales or
Or
the winner
Scotland.
between Scotland and what was it?
Uh,
Scotland had to play
I
Ukraine,
can't remember.
of course.
Ukraine.
Yeah,
Ah, it's
yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It
true.
could be
So
one of those three. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be a difficult one.
Hmm.
It will not be easy. Um, I mean,
Yeah, we could
Senegal's
be facing a group of two Europeans. It happened in the past.
yeah, 2002,
It depends. It depends on who we get in the
2006 too.
in from pot two. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to think 2000. Avoid at all costs Argentina and Liu. I think that's fair. I think
Yeah.
that's very, very fair. But I think something we could all agree on is that, I don't think there's necessarily any easy teams in this World Cup. I think a lot are stacked. Pot two is extremely scary, so to speak. Just wow.
But
Wow.
I tell you what. I mean, that's what I said at the beginning when we were talking about the World Cup draw.
Hmm.
It is important to be in the draw, be one of those. How many are
Seeded
they?
teams.
32?
Oh,
32? No,
32
but I
teams.
mean 32 teams. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be 48 for, anytime soon. It could be
Yeah.
played every 2 months, every 3 days. Yeah, we don't know, but it's very important to be one of those 32 teams. And
Yes.
another of the very very important things is to be on pot one, because
Yeah.
pot one is definitely scary. Everybody will be thinking, hey, everybody in top two in pot two will be thinking, hey, do we want to be in Qatar's group? Are we scared of refereeing?
A
Any
bias. Yeah.
advantages? Yeah,
It's
bias that
true.
the home team is always difficult, but they have no easy option. They will be facing
Yeah.
world power for
Yeah.
sure, and we might be avoiding uh, some of them. It's the low probabilities, but we'll see. A reminder that we are planning to do a video
Yes.
reaction for the World Cup draw on Friday. We hope you can make it. We understand it's different times. Maybe it's too late in some places, but we know you're loyal. We know you're diehard fans, and we know you're gonna be excited. So
Yeah, it's no, we're gonna do that Friday. I said Friday, not Sunday, but Friday absolutely. After the draw, we're gonna be live on YouTube, giving our opinions and our comments and everything, taking your questions. This is a very good one as well. Do you see this World Cup more open this time? I know France exists, but it's rare a team wins back to back. But if you exclude France, it seems like you can make an argument for many. Certainly, a lot of, I mean, if you want to say favorites, France, yeah, sure, absolutely, they're one of them. Spain is one of them. Germany, you could never kind of, discredit them. Brazil, obviously. Argentina, hey, I know it's Mundo Albiceleste and it's Argentina and they are the Copa America champions, but it's true we are one of the favorites. maybe not as high as some of the other teams, but we are there. No Italy this time, so there's certainly a lot, and sometimes you just need that easy road, let's say that easy road, and you never know, right? A team
Yeah.
like Portugal, for example, they have enough individual quality to easily make a run.
No, but it's a good point. I think it's very open. I think
Yeah,
even more open than 4 years ago, in my opinion. And I think I don't know if it's in recent memory. I don't know if we ever got to a World Cup not knowing exactly which one is the absolutely hot favorite. Of course, I think France have not just the
yeah,
confidence of being the world champion, but also the power. I think they're better than 4 years ago. That's absolutely scary. But we compete against them 4 years ago when we were an absolute mess, and so you never know. It's open. It's open. That's a very good way to describe it. And and I think a lot will be, believe it or not, I'm a firm believer that it's true. Believe it or not, on Friday with the draw, a lot will be decided, not decided, but
absolutely.
outlined there. There will be different views. And some teams will be seen in a different light, and there's still a long way to go. But the draw could determine the f- the faith. Sorry, not the faith. The destiny uh,
Yeah, of a lot of
for
teams.
yeah, for a lot of teams.
A,
So
a lot of teams. It's
the
you never
faith.
know.
I wanted to
Faith.
say faith,
That's
and I
it.
said faith, and I could have
That's
said
the faith.
faith, but it's
No,
faith.
no, no, no. It's okay. Faith is good. Faith is good. Brian says, I believe European teams are
Sorry.
not that strong compared to the last World Cup. I think in general, I think the teams are more balanced. I think you have more stronger teams now, but I don't think, like you said, Seb, I don't think there's a clear favorite.
Hmm.
For example, I think there's several of them. And oof, I mean, maybe the fact that this is another thing as well that we haven't really spoken too much of. The fact that it's being played in November, players might not be as tired and the quality might be better because of the summer break. But there's also, I mean, the matches are going to be in the dead middle of the European season, or at least right before the middle of the European season. So who knows? Injuries could play a big factor. Argentina's playing at least two friendly matches in the summer. So how much time off are these players actually going to get? Um, Argentina players as well for every other team depends on the Champions League. A lot of these players might make the final of the Champions League, not get time off in the summer, come back for preseason, or some might miss preseason. So there's a lot of factors, a lot of factors. But I do agree with you, Seba, absolutely that I think this World Cup draw on Friday will give us a better indication as to maybe which teams can at least make the quarterfinals. And then as of the quarterfinals, it's kind of a toss up. You never really know what could happen. But I mean, for Argentina, I remember in 2006, Argentina had the Netherlands, Serbia, and Montenegro, and the Ivory Coast in the group, and it was either kind of like if Argentina makes it out, they would either have played more than likely either Portugal or England or Sweden in the round of 16. So it wasn't an easy road for Argentina there. They ended up playing Mexico
Absolutely.
and Germany. So it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult, and we'll see what gives. We'll see what gives on Friday, Seba.
Absolutely. Yeah. There was a comment asking what time we're gonna do the video. We don't know exactly. We both have jobs and stuff to do. And we don't know exactly how long it will last, the World
Yeah,
Cup draw, but we will try to make it as close to the end of the
the
World Cup draw as possible.
yeah,
So allow everybody to be watching the World Cup draw and then
kind
come
of
to Mundo
react.
Albiceleste for reactions. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
that's what we are planning on doing.
And we're
But
gonna
don't
do a
tell my
lot.
boss. Don't tell my boss. It's gonna be in the middle of the afternoon. He's
No,
not
no,
gonna.
no, no. We won't say anything. We won't say anything. But no, we absolutely will take a look at everything. We'll take a look at the group that Argentina's in, and obviously every other group. If Argentina wants to make the final, potentially who they could face. We're gonna have the brackets. We'll have the groups and the brackets and all that stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, on Thursday, so even before the draw, we're gonna find out how many players every team will be allowed to take to the World Cup. Is it going to be 23, 26, or 28? That appears to kind
Wow.
of be the numbers out there. We're going to find that out on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So, in all likelihood, probably will not be 23 players. It's probably going to be either 26 or
So if
28.
it's 28 and I lose a few kilos, I might
There you
make
go.
an
What,
appearance.
what,
Yeah.
there you go, Seba. Are you going to be the striker or the left back or the right
No,
back?
I
Or
used to. I used to. I don't have that pace anymore.
no?
Yeah, no, I have the pace of a goalkeeper right now. Uh,
Ah, there you go. There you go. There's nothing wrong with
but
that.
not
Nothing
the
wrong with that.
reflexes. Not the
Not the
reflexes.
reflexes.
So yeah,
Not the reflexes.
especially
Uh,
not at this time.
ah, it's okay. It's okay. Calvin is sometimes also luck. Croatia, who topped our group in 2018, faced Denmark, Russia, and England. So, as opposed to Argentina, who
No,
faced
yeah,
France
and
and then would have faced
yeah,
Uruguay.
the luck, of course. There's a lot of lot of
Yeah.
different aspects, and I remember '86.
Mhm.
We we had to play England pretty early. I mean, it was
Quarterfinals.
Uruguay as well. It was really tough. That
Uruguay in the round of 16, England in the quarters, and Belgium in the semis.
yeah,
So that was
and 1990 as well. It was. I mean, there's no
Yugoslavia.
yeah,
Yugoslavia.
but we had to play the home team. We had to play Brazil.
Yeah.
Um, that
Brazil,
was
Yugoslavia, Italy.
yeah. And I recently watched, and I would recommend this
Yeah.
wholeheartedly. The Bilardo documentary. It's on HBO.
It's on HBO, yeah.
If you haven't watched it yet, just go for it. It's great. I think it's 3 or 4 episodes, but it's really really good. It's a dive into this mastermind of manager that won the World Cup with Argentina in '86 and then got to the final in 1990 as well. He he's completely crazy. Of course, you will see a lot of anecdotes there. It's really really it's a really really good view. I would recommend it. 100%. And he said at one point that he said something along these lines. Imagine being Brazil. Imagine going to the World Cup in 1990, winning your group, like having a great time in the group stage, and have to face Argentina because Argentina finished third. So you were thinking, okay, I want to win the group, so I will face a third place team, which is more likely gonna be
A
easy for us,
weaker team, yeah.
weaker team, and then you get Argentina, Maradona, Canilla, Argentina, and that's it. They were gone. So
Oh
they
my
had a
God.
perfect group stage, and they had to. So he said, "Oh, we have to play Brazil," and the players were saying, "Oh, we have to play Brazil," blah blah blah, and he said, "Can you imagine how worried they are? They finished
It's
first.
true. It's
We
true.
just scraped, and
It,
we have nothing to lose now. So let's go for it." And then he
yeah.
said, uh, in the
Mm,
halftime talk,
yeah.
it was 0-0. Brazil were wiping the floor with
Oh,
Argentina.
they hit the post, I think, like 10
They
times
hit
in
the
that match.
post. It was like a pinball,
Yeah.
and we had no rights to win that game, and so the players went back to the dressing room, and Bilardo stayed quiet, and players wouldn't believe it because Bilardo never stopped talking in the during the game, before the game, in the halftime break. All the time he was talking. So this time he said nothing, nothing. And the players tell the story. It's really funny. You hear Ruggeri telling the story, Olarticoechea, Burruchaga, all these players. So they say that they were looking at each other and they were like encouraging each other and they were going back to the pitch. And Bilardo at the last minute said, "Hey, hey, hey, wait, sorry, sorry. One thing. Stop passing the ball to the guys in yellow because we're going to lose." And then they won. They won the game. It's not that they won because of that, but that was the way for Bilardo to say, "You're playing
You're playing
bad,
like
playing
badly,
badly.
yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
passing the ball to the players in yellow because we're gonna lose." And
That's an
you see,
interesting one.
you know the rest. You know the rest. But
And
I fully recommend that series. It's really enjoyable.
I'll have to watch it. I'll have to, and just, I
Yeah,
mean, now as you're kind of talking about it, Brazil, Argentina had Brazil, and then Yugoslavia in the quarterfinals where Maradona missed his penalty, and then Italy, the hosts, and I mean Goicoechea again, Goicoechea in the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and then the final. Obviously, what happened
and
happened.
yeah, that's another thing. It's, I mean, there's nothing that you can take for granted, and Italy
Absolutely
1990
not.
is a perfect example because remember Goicoechea was a sub goalkeeper. He was a
Yeah.
substitute, and Pumpido broke his leg in the second game against the USSR, and that was it. He took on the starting role, and then he saved a couple penalties here, a couple penalties there. We eliminated Italy in the semifinals. Oh
Wow.
my God, that was a.
Wow.
It ended up
It-
with a bit of a sour note because we lost.
of course.
They should have given
But
us a penalty. I'm not contesting that penalty that won Germany the
mm,
World Cup because I think Sensini was a bit
lackluster,
careless. Yeah,
careless. That's the word.
I
I'll say
think it
lackluster.
was. Yeah, I think it was a penalty, but we were
Yeah.
knacker. We were playing extra
Man,
time after extra time after extra time. Maradona was injured. Canija was suspended. Urruchaga,
similar to 2014.
everybody was suspended in the semifinal. I mean, that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
But it was a good World Cup anyway. And I think he
Uh,
has all the elements that you can bring to the table when you discuss the luck
a
of a
World
team,
Cup.
the good and the bad luck
Yeah.
of a team in a
Yeah.
World Cup, and all the
It's
variants and the different scenarios.
absolutely no, no, absolutely. And Carlos brings another one. And you need luck. You need lady luck, like you mentioned, Seba. France received a lot of penalty kicks, and that was I remember that was the first. Well, that was the first World Cup with VAR, right? And I think Griezmann got a penalty against Australia. It was 0-0, and then he ended up scoring to make it 1-0. And I mean, you talk about luck. So Argentina, we know the story in 2018, barely, barely made it out of the group stages. And had they somehow eliminated France, which they came really close, they would have faced Uruguay in the quarterfinals. And Argentina against Uruguay, knock on wood. I mean, recent years, Argentina's gotten
Yeah, yeah,
they've gotten the wins. And then you face Belgium in the semis, and anything could happen in the semis. So it's you never know what could happen. You never know.
yeah.
And you want to talk about luck? Portugal, 2016, finished third in the group, faced France in the final. Who was it? Their player he plays in Mexico. I can't remember. The striker hit the post in extra time or in the 90th minute, right before
The friend,
Gignac. Gignac.
Gignac, yeah,
Gignac hit the post right before Portugal scored. So a lot of different elements can happen. And for Argentina, I mean, anything can
yeah.
happen. Anything can happen
No, and I would say we deserve a bit of we deserve
luck
a bit of luck. Yeah,
at a World Cup. Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
We've been we've been pretty pretty much
Unlucky.
on the losing side. Yeah, very very unlucky when it comes to Lady Luck.
Yeah,
We've been hit
but
hard
but this is a
recently.
but this is a team that won the Copa America. They
Yeah,
they got that monkey off their back. I know, literally mention this in every single video. But if these players can continue playing the way they're playing, and it's funny. I was watching when I was watching the match tonight. I was watching it. It was a stream, TIC stream, um, and they were talking about the what is it the group of friends, right? And they spoke about 2014 and 2018 how it was Messi's friends and all that stuff and this and that. But the commentator said he said, but this is literally friends right now what we have.
yeah,
But no one's saying anything about it. No one's
yeah,
complaining. So when it happened in 2014, 2018, the team made the finals and we're not able to win those finals. People blamed it all, friends, they're all friends and it's a group of friends and that's why this player gets called up because he's friends with Messi and this and that. But this is arguably they're much tighter and bigger friends now than the previous teams, but no one's saying anything about it because the team won the Copa America and keeping that momentum going up until the World Cup. These guys are friends, they're families.
yeah.
They
No,
literally are.
the press now, all the media, all the pundits that love to criticize Argentina, they love when Argentina loses. And I'm talking about the local, the Argentine ones. They have nothing to say. I remember they were ridiculing Scaloni for calling up Dibu Martinez, and they were saying he's calling a goalkeeper that nobody knows who's he, who's Dibu Martinez. Like, and I was everybody was like going out of. We were going crazy because we were talking about a goalkeeper who plays in the Premier League. I mean, it's not like he was living under a rock,
Yeah,
but they were, trying to make a point for Boca Juniors goalkeeper, River Plate goalkeeper, the usual. They try to put the local players, and now those guys are praising everybody. They're praising Scaloni. They're praising Dibu Martinez. They're pretty, as Maradona used to call them, they're pancakes because they
yeah,
flip
they flip.
and they
And
flip
now
all the
it's
time.
it's all about La Scaloneta right now. That's all the media can talk
Yeah,
about.
everybody, because
Yeah,
it's unpopular to criticize the national team now.
yeah,
It used to be cool. It used to be, yeah, they're a bunch of losers. Let's let's criticize them. Fans were also saying, "No, I don't care about Argentina. I want to see my team win the Copa
yeah.
Libertadores or win the
It's a
league.
bunch of
These are
Europeans. They make too much
yeah, these
money.
are millionaires. I don't care. Messi, he doesn't sing the national anthem. I don't like him." And they, this group of players with Scaloni, they changed all that. It was all negative, and now everybody wants a piece of Scaloneta. They all they all want to be a part. They don't want to. They didn't want to miss the ride in the Copa America, and they like uh, a team that is successful, obviously. Um, so I hope it doesn't turn sour, or people don't turn their back on the national team in the future. But I think they did enough to deserve, the popular um, love that they're and support that they're getting, regardless of how it goes in the World Cup. So hopefully
Yeah,
it goes well, but if not, I think they did enough to cement their place in people's heart. So
of course. I mean,
we'll see.
a first title after 28 years. We love. I mean, we grew up. Or I'm talking about myself. I grew up
Yeah,
watching the team. In the 90s and the early 2000s. And when you look at the squad, I mean, from Riquelme to Aymar to Bati to Crespo to Saviola to this and that. Or maybe disregard Bati. He won the Copa Americas, but those teams in the late 90s, let's say middle to late 90s and 2000s, solid teams. That team in 2006 and everything, but they weren't able to win something. And finally, you have a team that won it. And I think, knock on wood, no matter what happens at the World Cup this year, I think, like you said, this team kind of it solidified itself in Argentine history. I don't think you could say anything at all negative about this team. Um, one maybe potential one last thing I want to talk about, and we've kind of mentioned this in the past, and it's questions we keep getting on Twitter. Scaloni, I don't know if you read or you saw the Scaloni's press conference when he spoke about Dybala.
I missed that one.
Okay,
The last one,
the last one,
recent one.
yeah. So he was asked about Dybala, and he said something along the lines of, Dybala, there's fitness problems. We don't want him with us when he's not fit. But then he went on to say, he said, it's not just fitness problems to take into consideration. There's other things to take into consideration, specifically with Dybala. And I kind of got the impression that maybe Dybala is more out than
Hmm.
in the national team. Um,
Was he talking about the haircut that Dybala got?
that little
That could be an
haircut
issue.
he had.
Yeah.
That could be one.
Uh,
That could be one. But it was
um,
interesting hearing him talk about Dybala.
can you bring before we
Yeah.
wrap up? We're about to wrap up,
Yes.
but I think it was a lovely message. Just if you could go
Which
scroll
one?
up in the comments, because I that one Cyan Guha, yeah,
Yeah.
1249. Absolutely up for it. I will watch you. I will watch you have your cup of whiskey. I'll probably drink coffee or something, because I'm not to, to be a fan of drinking alcohol or whatever. I could have a beer with you while you drink a whiskey. Whiskey's too much for me, believe it or not. But absolutely, if you can make it to Argentina, I'll definitely have a drink with you. Absolutely. And this goes to everybody. All Mundo Albiceleste followers, all Argentina fans are my friends. So if you're ever here, don't hesitate. You know how to reach out and contact us. And absolutely, we go for a drink, for whatever.
There you
Um,
go.
that really brought a smile to my face. So thank you
There you go.
for the love, and absolutely up for it. for
There.
if you ever make
And
it to, to Argentina.
the only time we'll have Seba drinking on this show, anyways, would be when or if they win if Argentina wins a tournament. We had it at the Copa
Yeah,
America, right?
you saw it. Yeah, you saw it.
We saw it. So that maybe the World Cup, maybe at the World Cup. So
Hopefully.
yes, yes. Mixer of the says cheese pizza. There you go. We could have some cheese pizza as well.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Seba, any
All right.
last thing? Anything you want to wrap up?
No, just to say, I'm not gonna get too emotional or sentimental, but it was an absolute pleasure to enjoy most of the post matches for this World Cup qualifying campaign and the Copa America together with you. This is a new way that we have to be able to reach out to everybody and to get the reaction as well. And it was a pleasure. We are wrapping up. Of course, that's the dime asterisk that we have for that game against Brazil that was interrupted, but we can officially call the World Cup
It's
qualifiers
over.
over. I
It's
think it's
yeah,
pretty
it's
much
over.
over. There's nothing more to play for because Brazil, unfortunately, even if we beat them, we can't um, take first place. First place doesn't give you a trophy for this. The Copa America does, and you all know who got that trophy. But anyway, just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This has been really, really enjoyable. It was the thing that I looked forward the most, not just the game, but to then come here and talk to everybody and see that there's people from every continent, every nationality, every religion, every whatever. So it was really, really nice. And we really appreciate and we really feel the love that you send us. And long may it continue. We will do it for the World Cup draw and for every occasion that brings us together. That's what Mundo Albiceleste is all about.
Seba just getting me emotional right now.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's true, and we're always kind of like, hey, so like let's do this. What time is good for you? We always message each other regarding like what time do you
Yeah.
want to do the live discussion, the live videos, and it gives not only us, but I think everybody here as well, just chance to just kind of talk about the match, talk about the team. And it's I mean, West Ham clips. These live streams are not part of my routine for following Argentina. Thank you. Thank you for
Nice.
allowing us to be, even if it's like 0.001% of your lives or of your routines when it comes to football. Thank you. It's why we do it. It's fun. We enjoy it. There you go. It's. I mean, thank you, Carlos. It's great to connect with everybody as well in regards to Argentina, and we'll do some videos ahead of time. Yeah, we'll definitely do some stuff before the match against Italy. And
Yeah, we'll have a friend going to that game. One
yes,
of Mundo's family as well, Sigi. He was
yeah,
instrumental at a critical point in Mundo history. He was in charge of the whole redesign. He really took on a lot of work,
yeah,
which is, voluntary on a volunteer basis. We don't earn
absolutely,
money from this. We don't have money um, to to invest here, whatever. But it's all for the love of
yeah,
for Argentina and for each other. And I'm really, really happy because he will be able to go to Wembley. So we probably have some content to share with you, exclusive content, be videos or photos or pictures from Wembley. We'll have a part of Mundo there, and we're very happy for that.
yeah. Thank you, and absolutely, and Jambi. I only saw I was not able to partake in the last episode. Very big hug to the both of you. Your love for La Selección is more than evident, and what you do is absolutely beautiful. Muchas gracias. Thank you, Jambi, and thank you,
Grande
everybody.
Jambi.
It's thank you, thank you. I don't know
Yeah.
even what to say except for thank you very much. It's been an incredible World Cup qualifiers. We started this right before the World Cup. Sorry, right before the Copa America. The two matches, Chile, Colombia. Throughout the Copa America, we celebrated the Copa America together. The qualifiers, 31 matches undefeated. So thank you, everybody. And we have the live draw on Friday. Immediately following the draw, we're going to talk about it. Argentina, different teams, the path to the final, the path to the trophy, the third star. We're going to talk about that all on Friday. Thank you, everybody, for watching. My name is Roy Nemer of MundoAlbiceleste.com. As always, living legend himself, Sebastian Garcia Seba. Thank you, as always. And thank you, everybody,
Thank
for
you.
joining. Friday, World Cup draw. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button to be the first person notified whenever we go live or whenever a new video uploads. So once more, thank you, everybody. And Friday, World Cup draw. Bye, everybody.